Well, it is primary day in Michigan, and one marquee race could help determine the balance of power in the Senate. And I'm talking about the Democratic Senate primary between Congresswoman Haley Stevens and Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, the often contentious race focusing not just on the cost of living, but the war in Gaza and how best to stand up to the Trump administration. My next guest knows more about Michigan and Michigan voters than just about anyone else. Friend of the program, Democratic Congresswoman from Michigan, Debbie Dingell. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. And I'll be glad when this day is over.
Boy, there is a lot to talk to you about, that is for sure. And as you know, a lot of people have been framing this Senate race as the establishment versus progressives. Last time you and I spoke, you said that you hate those kind of labels, but you also recognize that, incumbents like yourself need to win back the trust of voters. So how does the winner of tonight's race do that?
First of all, we got to all pull together. And people like me are going to be a part of that. I have been neutral throughout all of this. And we have to remind people about what's at stake in November. And that is how we're going to lower the costs and fight for affordable America for everybody. So let's just start there. And what we're going to do to lower the price of groceries, what we're going to do to lower the price of gas, to make housing more affordable, to fix a very broken healthcare system. And, the reason I told you then, and the reason I'm telling everybody today is what do labels mean? What am I? You just wanted to call me, well, you didn't quite call me establishment, but you said elected leader. I'm the leader of Medicare for All in the House, have been since the day that I walked into office and made a promise to my husband I was going to get it over the finish line. I believe that if you're sick in this country, you should be able to go to the doctor when you need to go to the doctor and get the medicine that you need. So what label do you put that on? I don't call that progressive. I call that a human value, that when you're sick, you can go to the doctor. And we're the only industrialized nation in the world that doesn't do that for its citizens.
So called you incumbent, by the way. Now, some of your Democratic colleagues, some of your Democratic colleagues, like Representative Hillary Scholten, have not committed to backing El-Sayed if he wins the primary. What would you say to them?
I'm going to talk to Hillary. She's my friend and my colleague. And we've got to understand that what's at stake. We need to, that big blank bill that we passed a year ago is hurting Americans right now. And more of what's in there goes into effect after November. We know what Mike Rogers, who's going to be the Senate nominee, will do. He'll support the president. What's he going to do if we have an opening on the Supreme Court? How is he going to fix the broken healthcare system? Is he going to support the president on privatizing Medicare and Social Security? These are basic issues that keeping this seat Democratic in the Senate matter, and which is why we do have to unite. Look, I know Abdul. I probably know Abdul better than many people in this state do. He's talked about tried to run against me, but we still talk on a regular basis. We disagree on some issues, but Abdul and I care about people, and we care about everybody having health care. I have disagreements with people on both sides of the aisle, but there's a lot of common ground. And we need somebody in the United States Senate who's not going to be a rubber stamp. And I think that's the most important thing.
All right. Well, this has been a brutal and bruising primary. And I had a chance to speak with El-Sayed just a few weeks ago. I asked him about, fears that Democrats could lose this seat. Here's what he told me. I want to get your response.
We keep worrying about losing. The best way to win is to go fight to win, not just not to lose. And they tell us that, you got to be baked and polished, perfectly down the middle to win in Michigan. Perfectly down the middle doesn't win in Michigan. Otherwise, Michigan wouldn't have voted for Donald Trump twice.
All right, two questions for you. What is it that people you think are not understanding about him? And are you worried that supporters of whoever loses won't show up in November?
I'm going to be one of those people that's going to be out making sure that they do turn out. And I tell you every time you talk to me, I hate labels. What we got to do is talk to people about the world that they want and how we're going to deliver for them. We lost. Look, let's be candid. Everybody got mad at me 10 years ago. It's been 10 years when I said Hillary Clinton was going to lose because we lost those union halls. We have to, and I'm going to work with whoever wins this primary tonight to go out and win those union halls back. They voted for Donald Trump in 2020. And now this year, they're disgusted with everybody. We have to show them what we're going to do to help them. And what they're worried about right now is how much their groceries cost, how much it costs to commute to work. And union workers are losing their health care and their pensions. They want to see people that are going to fight for that. We have to talk about the issues that matter and show people how we're going to be together and fight for them.
You know, your party has, I guess, done a lot of soul searching after losing to Trump, and it's going to be interesting to follow the midterms all the way. I mean, just for the entire year. And I'm glad we have you to add perspective and talk with us on a regular basis. It adds a lot of balance. I appreciate you, Congresswoman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.